New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K. Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the New York Knicks podcast, episode 582, part of Dash Radio. I am Jay. How you doing, Mark?
Good. I am doing okay. What's going on, Jay?
Well, we were just talking before the show that we're at episode 582. I think if the Knicks don't win a championship by episode 1000, it's okay to call it a day, right?
We could cancel the show. If they don't get to a championship, if they don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals, not even the championship, the Eastern Conference Finals by episode 1000, we can. Well, I guess that's even lower standards. Should I say that, or should I make them? They have to win a title.
Maybe even conference finals.
Can we make the playoffs before episode 800? I think by episode 1000 they've got to win the title. If they do not, episode 1000 will just cut mid-season, be like, hey, we've not won the title yet. This is what we said we do, and we're done. And the outcry will be hard to hear.
Yeah,
people will be like, "Oh no, the show that we don't care about, stop doing show." It'll be awful.
Yeah.
But Jay and I were also talking about how we both our viewpoint on stuff. I was like, Jay, are you an optimist? Jay, are you an optimist? Let's. I asked you on this off the show.
Yeah, I'm not an optimist. People who listen to this show might think I'm a pessimist. I think I'm more of a realist, slightly leaning toward pessimism, but I feel like I'm more of a realist.
Yeah, I think I'm the same thing, and I think both of us are not talking about like the Knicks. We're talking about our general outlook on life, where we kind of like if you put 1 to 10, with 10 be extreme optimism, 1 be extreme pessimism / probably depression, and 5 being kind of that middle realist ground. I'm probably like a 3. I tend to look realist / negative without being depressed. I tend to not think things will work out, and probably why. I struggle to be an optimist about the Knicks, generally speaking, on the show.
Well, I mean, not to pat ourselves on the back, we do have a pretty good track record of calling moves and transactions and draft picks. I think we have a pretty good track record.
We do, and also with the dumpster fire the Knicks have been since the show has started, it's not that hard to not that hard to disagree with the Knicks and be right more often.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like we've crapped on everything, though. I mean, we liked the Tyson Chandler move. I liked Courtney Lee. We were Porzingis. We were happy about Porzingis. You know,
Jay, you called it on Porzingis, but there are a lot of things we've gotten right over there, and we're both fans of taking RJ. I also, Jay, I wanted to. I was worried that the show was already canceled.
Like we got canceled, or that I just stopped the show?
No, I thought when you heard. You had told me a long time ago you were going to cancel the show if the Queen of England died. And I applaud you for not following through on that.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're gonna carry on strongly without the Queen of England. How are you going to do it without her, Jay?
It's going to be tough, but I'm going to stay strong, and I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to do it for her.
For those that don't know, Jay has a shrine to the Queen of England and sometimes whacks off to her.
So this is what happens when there's a really long off season with no new news.
I thought we could start today's show. We both came up with 5 points we want to hit about the Knicks. But why don't we before that, do some questions? We have a few questions, and I figured we could address the questions, then go into more stuff. Sound like a plan, Jay?
Yeah, we got a chat room question too.
Oh, start with the chat room question. They're here, they're live. Let's do it.
Brooklyn Adrian said, something I was wondering today, why does Jay love Haliburton so much? I hear a lot about him, but he's no all-star, all-NBA, nothing close in my opinion.
I mean, to be fair, the Pacers are supposed to suck this year, and they do have Haliburton. Jay, can you explain this?
I think Haliburton is already an above-average point guard. My argument for why I was so high on Haliburton is, one, I do think he's going to get there, and I think he's going to be very good. But also, the ripple effect of not drafting him, the Knicks then had no point guard and had to pay $100 million to Brunson, and now they're capped out, and they have to give up a lot of assets and a high-paid player to get a free agent. It was a whole ripple effect thing. Like, if they got Haliburton, They still would have had plenty of cap space, and they would have had a point guard.
I'm not quite as obsessed with the whole Haliburton thing as you are. I wish they had taken another point guard. I wish they'd just drafted better with all their picks. But here's a question for you, Jay. Who is a better point guard right now? Forget the salaries. Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Haliburton?
Brunson.
So stop complaining. We have a better point guard. Then you go on and on, Jay. But we have a better point guard right now.
We do, but it's the whole team construction because they used a high draft pick on a backup to power forward.
I mean, there's a lot of issues. But also, 2 years from now, do you know what you're going to have to do with Tyrese Haliburton?
Yeah, you're going to have to pay him.
Yeah. So in 2 years, you'll have paid him, and he'll be on the same contract as Brunson. All you're complaining about is that this year and next year, Brunson costs more than Tyrese Haliburton.
No, that's not what I'm complaining about because with the Bird rules, you could sign another free agent and then use extra money for Haliburton using the Bird rules instead of just using all the cap space right now.
Oh, Jay thinks someone wants to sign here. Free agents want to come here. No, they don't, Jay. So give it up.
Or it gives you flexibility with
and
a trade.
Jalen wanted to come here, obviously, but
you could take on more salary than you give out if you have cap space.
If you draft well and you develop your own players, you use the Bird rules. You can go above. You can go well above. That works out well. I mean, Jay, but also, wouldn't you be just as happy if they took SGA the year before?
What, instead of Knox? Yeah, I think I'd like that, yeah.
yeah. I've been saying, it doesn't have to be Haliburton, right?
Well, it's just the fact that they picked a backup power forward.
I mean, also, if he wouldn't be a backup power forward if our team president had the balls to get rid of Julius Randle.
Do you think he doesn't have the balls, or do you think there was not a good offer out there?
I mean, I don't think there's been a good offer. Of course, he's a negative asset at this point. But do you suck it up to make the team better, or do you go, let me ride this problem into the ground?
What do you mean suck it up, though? If nobody wants him, then
you could attach the first round pick to get rid of Kemba's Walker's contract, which was a goddamn joke. You probably could have attached the first round pick and got rid of Julius Randle. Not that I wanted to do that, but at least that way you would have freed up Randle's minutes. Obi starts, the offense looks better. Like you have to figure out a way to move Randle. You could have even done the Westbrook thing where you could have traded Randle and say Evan Fournier for Westbrook, immediately cut Westbrook. And then you only have 1 year Westbrook's contract on the books, and you would have freed up the Randle minutes.
You make it sound so easy.
There are things you could have done. You could have moved them at some point. You did not. It is what it is, but you're just making a problem a lot worse.
Well, yeah, that's been Rose's entire tenure, is just making things worse.
I don't know if he's making things worse overall. I mean, the team does, in fairness, people will say, and people will make a good argument, we have some good young players. We're not worse than when we got here. We still have a bunch of draft picks that are useful. We now have a better point guard than we've had in years. There are things that are going in the right direction. RJ's been developing. We have him now on a 4-year deal. It's not like Leon Rose has been a dumpster fire the way Phil Jackson was. It's just that you can get the sense that he doesn't, and not that we'd be better at this, but maybe we would be, but you can get the sense that he's making a lot of moves that don't make sense along the way. And he doesn't have a pure direction he's going in. And he's doing weird things like punting on draft picks and drafting Obi, then finding no minutes for him.
I mean, we do have the same amount of experience being a GM.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, there's also a thing that maybe we've watched Obi and we're like, oh, he looks really good. He'd look better with the offense. And maybe the staff has watched him. They watched him in practice. They've watched a lot of him, and they say, Obi is not a starter. Randle's better. We just don't think Obi's a starter. So, moving Randle for nothing doesn't make any sense because Obi's just not that great. I don't think that, but maybe the organization feels that way.
Yeah, maybe they do, but then that brings me back to my whole point. Then why'd you draft him with a top 10 pick?
Well, you draft him because you thought he'd be better, but it doesn't mean he's going to turn out to be better.
Well, then they suck. I don't know what to say.
I don't know. I mean, it's also the same organization that was at 8 we take Obi. We're hoping that he's great. If you have a pick 3 picks later, 11, no one's ever good at 11. We might as well just punt on having a pick this year. I don't know. In theory, they should have just opened up playing time for him in year one and traded Randle. But they thought his value was low. Then Randle was awesome, so they signed him and got screwed in year three.
It's been fun.
So also, I know you're a big Met fan, Jay, and you love when I talk about baseball, right?
Love baseball. So much action, so much going on.
So the Mets had this player, Howard Johnson. You remember Howard Johnson? This was when we were kids.
He has some
in the
very
late 80s.
fine hotels, yes.
Very fine hotels also. After founding the Howard Johnson Hotels, he became a New York Met. It's crazy. Anyway, he had this peculiar thing where, like, if it was an even year, he was like an okay player. If it was an odd year, he was a goddamn all-star. There's some reason, like, it was like 6 or 7 years straight where there's this happened, where it was like 1986, he's okay. 87, he's awesome. 88, he's okay. 89, oh man, he's awesome. 90, not so great. 91, awesome again. And so I bring this up because I'm going to say Julius Randle is only good in odd years. So we're going to 2023. He's going to be awesome again. Just like 2021, he was awesome.
I hope your theory's right.
This is it. He only ran on the 2024. Everyone will be like, he's a dumpster fire. 2025, he'll be league MVP. That's how it's going to go with Julius Randle's career.
Okay. I mean, I'd take that over.
Yeah, obviously you'd take that.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Who cares?
Yeah.
That could be it. Why not?
Yeah.
But you are a little too obsessed with Tyrese Haliburton. Would you admit that?
I'm actually surprised we haven't gotten multiple emails about my obsession with Haliburton.
You're too, because the Knicks have made a lot of bonehead moves.
I just feel like this was the one that set everything back like years.
They drafted KP, which was like great. They turned him into nothing. That was a pretty dumb move. They could have gotten a lot more for him at the very least. And also just not that I really want KP back on the team, but like, what I mean, like, how does that work out? You draft the guy, you're like, this is the best guy we've taken since, arguably the best player we've taken since Ewing, and then we turn him into nothing.
I know there's people who argue that the Knicks got market value, but multiple teams have come out and said that Phil Jackson didn't even answer the phone when they called. So there was obviously better deals out there.
But by the way, Jay, I just want to say this. I'm on our Facebook page, and I'm going to read a question from Greg in a moment.
And my Knicks podcast on Facebook.
You know they have on Facebook, they'll say suggested groups for your page.
Yeah.
So other groups that your page might like.
Yep.
And there are 3 of them. One of them is Knicks versus Nets.
Okay, makes sense.
Another one is Everything Jeeps.
Okay. I don't think either of us are Jeep guys, but okay.
And I also, mind you, the first one, the Knicks versus Nets, has about 5,000 members.
Mm-hmm.
Everything Jeeps has about a little over 2,000 members.
Mm-hmm.
The third one has 187,000 members. The name of the group is Bath and Toaster Shit Cut Department.
Wait, excuse me?
Yes.
Bath and Toaster Shit Cut Department.
Cunt.
Oh, well, even better.
Anyway.
I'm gonna let some time go by before I read our sponsor for today.
Okay. Sorry, I just saw that. I was like, what the hell is this? Anyway, I think my point was basically KP, you messed up with him. Then you have the Frank draft. You can argue who should have drafted, but either way, the results are Frank was a terrible pick. And we just tried to unload half the franchise to get the guy that was taking like 5 picks after him. Donovan Mitchell.
If we were the GM, we would not have had Mitchell, but we would have had one of the Bridges brothers.
Yeah. No, that's Knox draft.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We would have had probably then we would have probably blown the pick anyway.
Yeah. I think that.
I think we were both in on Frank. But anyway, the following year, because you took Frank, who didn't look anything like a point guard in year one, you were like, can't take a point guard this year, so you took Knox, missing out on both. The Bridges aren't related, but both Bridges. The one of them. Apparently, based on current events, you might not have wanted him anyway.
Wait, they're not related?
No, they're no relation. Just coincidence.
No, they're brothers.
No, they're not.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Huh?
You didn't know this?
No.
It was just like a thing. It was like, oh, whatever. They're 100% not related.
Like the Bogdanoviches. This
Are the
Bojan and Bogdan.
Are not related either, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to pull you and fact check you. I'll take your word for it.
Okay, that's great. Anyway, I mean, you can fact check me. I don't care. And then basically we blow the Knox trade. We just RJ. It's good. You could argue that we should have taken what's his name afterwards. Though everyone said RJ was
the clear pick. That's retroactive history. If you're going to say that they should have drafted Garland, because
yeah, I agree with you.
I think I don't think there was one draft board on the entire internet that did not have the same top three.
And also, it's not even that clear yet that Garland's the better pick than RJ.
Right.
But anyway, and then the following year, anyway, the Knicks, we recite all this. It'd be nice if they could nail some draft. And there are guys that have been taken, like, as much as we liked IQ, Desmond Bane was taken a few picks later. Like IQ, Bane would be a better guy to have got. There's a lot of guys taking this draft that we missed out on. But you can't get mad about that one. But anyway.
So your point is that even though the Knicks have taken some good players, they haven't just knocked one out of the park.
Oh, my point also was with Leon Rose is that he's been punting picks every year. Every year, like year one, he punted like the 32nd pick in the draft. Year two, he punted like pick 21 in the draft or pick 23. Year three, he punts number 11 pick in the draft. It's weird how he's punting the picks. Then he kind of spends all his time accumulating these protected first-round picks who are apparently worth not much more than the pennies you find on the floor. Okay, anyway, I'm getting too negative. Greg writes, should Derrick Rose be worried if we get SGA? What are your thoughts, Derrick? Many years ago, I used to do a terrible Derrick Rose impression that sounded like a little baby because he would mostly because the fact that Derrick Rose was injured for like 3 straight years and didn't want to play, or it seemed like he didn't want to play. So we made jokes about it. Should I answer in the Derrick Rose terrible voice, Jay?
I don't know I feel like as much as Greg loves it, I feel like it might be done. It might be done, Greg. Greg, I retired that with the death of the Queen of England. If you asked when she was alive, I would have done it. But Greg is one of the OG podcast fans, so I appreciate you, Greg.
We're a huge fan of you, Greg. But Knicks aren't getting SGA, so Derrick Rose has nothing to be worried about. Jay, would you give 2 unprotected and all unprotected firsts for SGA? Bearing in mind, we already have Brunson on the roster.
Yes.
What about 3 unprotected?
Can we do a 2 and a top 5 protected?
I mean, that's really
that's almost unprotected.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the other. I don't want to. Are you okay giving up 3 Knicks picks, as opposed to other teams protected?
No, I mean
the
3rd Knicks pick is like
sure,
top
5 protected. Why the hell not?
Yeah, I would do that. I just worry that like his last 2 seasons he's been pretty banged up.
Yeah, I also wonder, is he injured? Always injured, or is Oklahoma like? That nail is growing. That toenail is growing a little bit off. We got to sit you tonight.
I know that's the thing. I can't tell. Like he's looked better each season.
He's looked great, but OKC has no interest in playing half the games because they're trying to tank.
Yeah, I can't tell if he's injury prone. It's a fluke, or it's OKC playing games.
So this year, the OKC is probably going to go all in the tank for the last time. I don't know. Do you think OKC really wants to trade SGA? I feel like
no. I think the Knicks just said who else is young and coming off a rookie contract that we can make rumors about, because I haven't heard anything on OKC's side that's saying they don't want Shea.
I heard another show was talking about like, okay, so who are the Raptors will we trade for? It was like we're gonna get OG on a board, whatever his how do you pronounce his last name? OG Anunoby, Anunoby, and like we're gonna get him. Like, why are the Raptors trading him to us?
Right.
Why are we gonna be able to pick off the players from a team that's far superior to us right now?
So legit rumor that I heard.
I also just before you said that, I hate when people just start immediately going like, okay, we're gonna get this guy and this guy. No one Go on, Jay. What's your
if a team doesn't have an incentive to trade one of their better players, there's no point even talking about it. There's no why would they do that?
Right.
I hate those type of conversations.
And how many players, Jay? Tell me, name all the players that have forced their way in a trade to a specific team.
Yeah, not many. LeBron, Harden.
What do you mean in a trade?
Oh no, LeBron was free agent.
Yeah, in an actual trade, who's forced themselves to a team?
Anthony Davis and Harden.
Did Anthony Davis force himself to the Lakers, or were the Lakers the only team? Like Lakers had a lot of assets then.
No, he said he wants to go to LA.
Okay, fine. It's pretty rare though, generally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Warriors have a ridiculously high cap right now, roster salary right now.
Like $150 trillion. Yes.
Yeah, and so they have to pay Poole and Wiggins, and the rumor is they don't have the funds to do it, so they're going to have to choose. So
I would choose. Who would you choose?
I think the rumor is they're going to go with Poole.
Interesting, because I almost would choose Wiggins because
of the defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they have enough offense on that team.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, which is what I was thinking. But Poole's a little younger, and I guess maybe they think his ceiling's a little higher. Wiggins, they're probably like he is what he is at this point.
Which is totally fair thing to say. But he's been very good.
What I would like on the Knicks. So, if they can do that trade.
Wait, what's the trade you're saying?
Knicks trade for Wiggins. So,
I
don't even know what the package would be.
This is a real rumor, or you're just making this up?
Well, the real rumor is that they're going to have to trade one of the two.
Okay.
So, obviously, the Knicks need more players. So that's now people are starting to say, well, why not the Knicks? There's no legs to this yet, but there's legs to the fact that one of those two players may get traded.
There was no legs to the Durant to the Knicks rumors either until New York just collectively made it up.
True, but no, people in like L.A. are saying like Golden State needs to trade one of these two guys. They can't.
Yeah.
They can have like a $400 million like cap roster salary if they sign everybody. They can't do it.
Right. I mean, also they need some of their young players to develop. You need to it's just too expensive. So
yeah.
Let's just say it was Wiggins they're going to trade. What can the Knicks give for Wiggins? It's just draft picks. It's the only thing they're going to really want, right? Because they don't want to pay the players. Like they want dead cap space from us.
Or soon to be expiring, which the Knicks have with Rose, and Fournier doesn't have much longer. So I mean, they can do that kind of stuff. They could do that in a couple of draft picks.
The only thing I'd say is Wiggins played in Minnesota. He was considered one of the worst contracts in the NBA. He was not that great. He moved to Golden State, the perfect system for him, and looks awesome. Do you think he's going to look good in New York?
Maybe he won't be the focal point of the offense. I mean, I think in Minnesota they basically said, "You're the man, you and Towns."
True. And he's also learned from experience in Golden State, of course.
Right. In New York, you're going to have Randle and RJ and Brunson there. He probably will have a similar role in New York.
Right. So Wiggins is he more of a small forward or or power forward? Small?
I would say small forward.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd be on board for what would you give up for him? Like, let's pick a Fournier, Rose. What now? That part of it doesn't get it done. Let's talk about draft picks. What do you give? 2 unprotected?
Yeah.
I don't want to give 3.
No.
And they can have our protected picks since they're like worth
have all the
shit.
protected picks. Nobody wants those. They're probably not even, like we said last episode, they're probably not even going to convert to first round picks anyway.
Yeah, and I also no one's Do you give up Grimes and Obi?
Well, not both.
No, I'm saying they're Golden State's like we want both.
Well, that's. I mean, I don't think that's
Grimes,
the market value for.
We want Obi. We want 2 protected. I mean, unprotected. Sorry, we don't want you protected. Like don't offend us.
Did Danny Ainge move to Golden State? Like this is an unreasonable package now.
You know what's crazy? Actually, there are 29 other GMs that try to get as much as you can out of you.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't mean you have to say yes.
I'm just saying everyone's going to be greedy.
Okay.
Why shouldn't they be greedy? I mean, like, Wiggins, there are other teams you could trade him to. There are a bunch of other teams that would want him, right?
No, of course you try and be greedy because there's usually a team stupid enough to give you what you want. And it's usually the Knicks. But I feel like if I have to say one good thing about Rose, it'll be that he has not like given everything.
Successfully blown a trade.
Yeah, he didn't like give everything Ainge wanted, which I don't know what he wanted. If he turned down Mitch, Obi, and RJ, and two unprotecteds, like I don't know what the hell he wanted.
It seemed like he was offering a lot to begin with, and I'm so kind of thankfully that Ainge didn't say yes. Okay, so rank these three guys: SGA, Donovan Mitchell, and Wiggins. Not who's the best player, but rank them in order of best fit with the current Knicks team.
Are we including salary into this equation?
Aren't they all paid a lot of money?
They are, but I mean, it could make a difference. $5 million.
We're over the cap also. We're over the cap, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like our team, you understand we're capped out.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter. If we can make it them fit, we don't have cap space. So rank them, forget the salary part of it.
Okay. I would go. I think you're going to be surprised at my rankings here. I'm going to go.
Yeah, I am surprised because we're doing this on like video and you're taking off clothes.
Well, sorry about that. Twitch.tv/crumpledbacon and youtube.com/TITOWAJ. That's our streaming stuff. I'm going to go Wiggins, Mitchell, Shea. Based on team fit and team need. Also, Shea got last because I'm worried about his injury history.
Okay, that's a reasonable. I was wondering if Shea. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's better than SGA at this point.
I'm not ranking him by, well, yeah, I had him ranked higher anyway, but I'm not saying I wasn't ranking them based on like who I think is better. It's more their fit on the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, Wiggins could add a lot on defense. He has size. He can fill that small forward thing, powered forward at times.
Because we talked last episode, the Knicks are lacking in defense. He would help immensely on that end.
By the way, I'm just looked up Wiggins to see. I was just curious to see how tall he was. He's 6'7". I knew he was pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
But I also see an article here. Why Curve views Wiggins Warriors as the perfect marriage? Are we sure he's being traded?
We're not sure, but I'd take Poole too.
Yeah. What are you giving up for Poole? Poole fills your role as shooting guard, so you should be willing to. But that, I don't know. He's not that tall. And I know Donovan Mitchell wasn't that tall either. But he's not quite as dynamic a player as Donovan Mitchell. I'm giving up less for him.
Yeah, giving up a little less for him.
None of this stuff's happening though.
I mean, Poole's 6'4". It's not small.
Is Poole 6'4"?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I really thought he was like 6'1".
No.
I was 6'2". Yeah, okay, fine.
He's 6'4". He's only 23. Good three-point shooter. Averaged 18 points a game.
He was also a late first-round pick, which is interesting because the Knicks don't think those are worth taking.
Why would you keep nobody good gets picked after 8?
Yeah. Interesting. More questions. Let me find the Twitter questions. Do you have anything else you want to say about this?
No. Brooklyn Adrian says, how do you guys really see the Randle situation going down? Better attitude, hustle, or worse than last season due to a lesser role?
I think it's going to go better.
I don't think it can go worse, to be honest.
I think he kind of understands. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. I think he's working out all summer with that chip. I think having a real point guard should make a big difference as far as his on the amount of. I think it can't get worse, right?
It can't.
So Jay and I were going to make 5 predictions.
Mm-hmm.
We each came with 5 to talk about for the season, and we were going to do this next anyway. But I'm going to say one of my predictions. At some
before
point,
we do predictions, let me do our sponsor for today.
Oh, I was going to say before the. I wasn't moving to the whole prediction thing. I was going to say one prediction thing. Can you do your sponsor thing? Okay. The one prediction I'm going to make, because it goes with this, is that at some point this season, the crowd at MSG will chant MVP in reference to Julius Randle.
Okay.
Is that crazy?
If he plays well, they will. It's not like they've turned on him forever. He got booed because he was causing drama and dogging it on defense. If he tries hard, even if he doesn't play at a all-star level, if he tries hard, then Knicks fans are going to embrace him. That's just.
It's not just trying hard. He's got to make some shots.
The Knicks fans embraced Jared Jeffries at one point. Like, if you try, they're going to appreciate it.
Okay, so that's my bold prediction. And at some point, Julius Randle, early in the season, will go off, and the fans will show their appreciation.
Okay. My Randle one was that he plays better than last season, but not as good as his most improved season. Good enough to fit in with the current roster.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bold statement, but
were they supposed to be bold statements? I thought they were just predictions.
They're just I don't care. We don't have to be on the same page, Jay. Okay. Much like the Knicks management and coach, we don't have to be on the same page. But I was going to say, I mean, Randle, realistically, with Brunson, his life should be easier, right?
Much, yeah.
Okay. Do the sponsor, and then we can go on.
All right. The NFL's opening week was action-packed, and it's just getting started. Get ready for week 2 of touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's simple. This Sunday, bet on any NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code NYKP to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That code is NYKP, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
You know what's interesting about all these draft sites, Jay?
Yeah.
Especially DraftKings? You are legally allowed on this site to bet on the team that's playing the Jets. There is no chance the Jets will cover their spread. Like, this is free money DraftKings is giving away. Just bet the Jets' opponent. Bet your life savings. It will work out. The Jets are that bad.
It almost seems unfair that you can bet against the Jets.
Yeah, it really seems unfair. It also seems unfair that I'm a Jet fan. I hate them so much. Anyway, on Twitter, Chris writes, of all the things that could theoretically happen with this team this season, what would make you the most happy or excited? A decent playoff seeding, a bounce back to all NBA for Randle, another big step up for Barrett, 6th man of the year consideration for IQ, etc. What would make you most happy?
I think all-star for Barrett. They've put so much in behind him, giving him this contract. To see it actually work out would be great.
I think that would be awesome. I'm going to go a decent playoff seeding because as much as the individual accolades are great, if the Knicks have a decent playoff seeding, a lot has gone right.
Okay, that's fair.
Mr. Top News writes, from all the work we've seen being put on these social platforms by the Knicks, dogs in the run. How long will the gelling period? We need them to mesh quickly, and get off to a good start, and chemistry will be key. How long does it take them to mesh?
15 games.
So I don't know how much meshing they need to do because most of the team is the same as last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Brunson.
That is true.
Yeah, there's a lot of continuity here. I mean, we removed some players like Alec Burks, but most of these guys have been playing together for a little while now. And then you add in, I think you can figure out how to make things work pretty fast with the guy that runs the off, like a point guard. You can figure that out pretty fast.
You've swayed my opinion.
I say this team is gelled. I think this team looks pretty close to gelled right away. They're gonna hit the ground running, so to speak. If you like that metaphor.
I do. I like it.
Knicks girl writes, how long do you think it will take for Tibbs to get fired? By midseason or sooner?
I think he has a full season.
I 100% think he has a full season. I think at some point, I think for him to get fired, Rose's job, I don't know if on the line, but he's going to be on thin ice if Tibbs is getting fired because then the season looks like crap.
I mean, I just think that Tibbs hasn't had a real point guard since he started here. They need to give him a full season with a real point guard.
Right. They're also not going to fire Tibbs if they're 500. They're going to fire Tibbs if they're like 15 games under.
Yeah.
Talking Knicks writes, in reply to Knicks girl, why even go there? Let's be positive going into the season. For Tibbs to get fired, the team would have to lose a lot of games quickly. And Knicks Youth writes, you guys brought up Cantor's burger story last episode, and it reminded me of this gem. Do you guys miss this era? And I think he was referring to. You remember what he was referring to, Jay?
Yeah, I can't. You want me to play it?
I can't hear my own voice. Just could you just say it?
Jorge writes.
Okay.
Have you guys sat down and realized?
Sorry, that was it was just us telling the story about how Cantor ate a ton of burgers on camera and then called in sick with a stomach thing, and then said he didn't want to go play in London because he was afraid of getting shot and dying. So that's basically what we had to deal with a couple years ago.
In theory, I should have let you play the clip, but I didn't because I'm an asshole. I also just hate the sound of my own voice. Hope you listeners like my sound of my voice. Joe writes also, all right, mate, visiting New York and intend to see the Knicks game. Sending the Knicks game. Would the atmosphere be any good against the Toronto Raptors? Much appreciated. Thanks.
The atmosphere at MSG is always good.
It is. The Knicks could have 3 wins on the season going into the last game of the year, be the all-time worst team in sports history. And if it's a close game, the Garden will be electric.
Yeah. As long as they're not down by more than like 15 points, it's going to be a great atmosphere and you're going to love it. So
if it's a close game, Knicks fans will come to it's just an awesome place to watch a game.
I mean, I've been at games where they were down by 20 and they make a run to pull to within 12 and the crowd's going bonkers. Like it's just a great crowd.
Yeah, it's one of the best crowds in all sports.
Yeah.
Okay, so our top 5. We already did our Randles. We just made 5 predictions. They're not hot takes. They're whatever you want. They're low flame on the stove burner predictions.
Yeah.
Go, Jay.
Brunson has the best season of his career.
Man, I can't believe you did a prediction about Brunson. So did I. There's not much to talk about with this team.
I mean, we're going to do the same 5 players, I'm assuming.
I predicted Jalen Brunson averages 18 points and 8 rebounds a game and is the best point guard the Knicks have had since Mark Jackson.
And I think 18-8 would be the best season of his career. So,
I mean, that's actually what Slim Felton was doing also.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be pretty goddamn awesome.
Yep.
And there's no reason to think he can't do that because he was doing that better than that when Doncic was injured last season. So
exactly. Okay, so the breakout player on the Knicks next season, Isaiah.
Wait, dude. Come on.
That's what you did too.
You said Hart is the breakout player.
Yeah.
I said Hart takes over for Mitch for starting role by midseason.
I think this guy is going to be the one like sneaky good move that the Knicks did recently.
Yeah, I agree. I think I mentioned last show or before that. There's some guy who's been talking like this deep analysis. He's done it with 2 different players before they were good. He nailed how good. I mean, obviously Jokic is amazing. And he apparently he was calling Jokic being amazing before he's ever amazing. And then the other guy he thinks is going to be amazing is Hart. And I'm reading this guy's stuff on it. They say there's a lot of things they're saying about him. He's an amazing defender, or he's a very good defender. He is an excellent passer. He's not like a 3-point shooter as far as an outside shooter, but he's got a nice touch. His issue is getting fouls the way Mitch does also, but I think he's going to look pretty good with Tibbs coaching him.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting, and I think he's going to be a better fit with the starting unit because of his passing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what's your next one, Jay?
RJ still struggles with efficiency.
Jay, take your pessimism and get the hell out of here. All right, my mind is RJ struggles with carrying all the offseason awards from being the greatest season in history of time. I did not say that, but you think he's going to struggle with efficiency again?
Yeah.
He's got a point guard, Jay. He's also every year he gets a little better. You know that, right?
I hope I'm wrong. I really do.
Your bold prediction is the guy we're building the team around is going to suck?
Didn't say suck. He didn't suck last year. Just a similar year as last year. I wouldn't call last year sucked.
His efficiency was terrible last year.
It was.
Yeah.
He can improve in efficiency and still be bad efficiency wise. He was just really bad last year.
There's some things he did that just brought down his efficiency. Like, he seemed to just there's 5 guys staying at the basket. I'll drive into all 5 of them. He does that a little less. Efficiency's going to go up.
Yeah.
Also, having a point guard should help. We've talked about how it'll help the team having a point guard for so long. It's going to be really disappointing if it doesn't help.
Yes, it would.
Grimes asserts himself as a starter very early in the season and is locked in as a starter the rest of the way.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, my last one is Obi still struggles to crack the 15.
Oh my God, Jay. My next one is the Knicks have the worst record in the NBA, but somehow end up with the 15 pick in the draft. Who knows? Knicks suck. Thanks, Jay.
What, I took yours again?
No, you're just being so negative. Come on.
It's not negative. It's realistic.
Can you wait for the tip-off of game 1 of the season to get negative?
How is saying Obi's not going to get a lot of minutes being negative? That's just he's behind Randle.
I said he'd make 5 predictions. You could come up with 5 positive things to say. You're more negative than I am, Jay.
You didn't say make 5 positive predictions. You said make 5
I just assumed you would, Jay.
Obi's going to be an all-star next season. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's a realistic prediction.
He's going to struggle in minutes. Thanks. Well, he's going to be struggling for minutes because the Garden crowd is going to be chanting MVP for the guy we hated this last season. IQ finishes the season in the top 3 voting for 6th man of the year.
I like it.
Yeah, that's you know what's good about that?
It's positive.
Yeah, you can't say come with one other more positive thing to say about the Knicks. Make a prediction that's not insane. That's positive.
Rose plays over 55 games this season.
There you go. That's something.
That would be really good. The bench really gels when Rose plays. He's got good chemistry with a lot of those guys.
The top 3 in voting for the 6th man of the year are going to be IQ, Obi, and Derrick Rose. There you go. The Knicks have all the 6th man of the year.
And Mitch, since he's getting moved to the bench.
And Mitch is it. And Hardesty wins most improved player. RJ wins. The Queen Elizabeth's dead. Canada is still connected to the UK. RJ becomes King of England.
Mm-hmm.
And his first act is to knight Enes Kanter, just to get Kanter involved.
But Kanter misses the knighthood because he ate too many burgers the night before.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry, guys, it was cheat day. I don't know what
it was cheat day. Who else we do not talk about? We talked about Brunson. We talked about Grimes. We talked about Fournier. Is Fournier going to be a useful player on the bench? Maybe Fournier finishes 4th in 6th man of the year voting.
I mean, he had an alright season last season, and he smashed the Knicks' all-time 3-point record. So he can easily beat his own Knicks record next season.
Is it weird that and I understand the criticism, but it's weird how we're like the NBA. We need guys that can shoot 3. Shooting 3 is important. Cool. We got the guy who's at the Knicks' all-time record. He's garbage. Put him on the bench.
I mean, it would be nice if he had the D part of a 3 and D, but the guy was very, very good from behind the line, and the Knicks are very inconsistent other than him, so they needed that.
In Fournier's defense, he has said he really was unclear of his role with the Knicks early on because he was not a role. He's never been a 3 and D. He's been more of a complete player, he felt like. And to be like a spot-up shooter threw him off, and it took him a while to figure out how to play in Tibbs' offense. And I guess play defense for Tibbs.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If you look at his numbers, he had more assists, more steals, more blocks, almost across
he
the
did.
board, like in Orlando.
He had a different kind of role that it took him a little while to gel and get used to. Maybe he'll play better for Tibbs in year 2. Also, be a little better on defense with understanding Tibbs' schemes a little better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm fine with that. I know that some people are down on him. I don't understand the Fournier hate. I really don't.
I do think he should be in the off the bench, not starting. But I think the hate's a little much. Would you agree he should be on the bench though?
Only because of, I think there's too many minus defenders in the starting lineup. I think you need
absolutely.
to stagger that.
Absolutely,
have Grimes in there because with Brunson and Randle and RJ weren't great on defense. I mean,
they weren't great on defense. No way.
I mean, Randle was downright bad. RJ was like average. I know some people say he was amazing. I think he was just average.
No, I remember early on, Tibbs challenged RJ to become a really like elite defender, and then it didn't happen. Right. But in theory, you have a lot of guys in this team that should get a little better going into the year. RJ works super hard. He should be better. I don't know how much better, but he should be better. Obi looked better in year 2 than year 1. He should look better. Grimes should look better in year 2. There's a lot of things that should improve on this team. And the bench is going to be pretty darn good, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully Tibbs will be not as like set in stone with lineups, and he'll mix and match a little more to find out what gels.
Hopefully. We'll find out shortly. Season's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's coming up real soon, Jay.
So before we go, I want to thank Dean. Very generous Patreon. So really appreciate that. Thank you, Dean.
Who's going to beat Dean for next week? Can you beat Dean's Patreon? Let's see if you can do it.
So, yeah, thank you again, Dean. Really appreciate it.
No, it's awesome.
Above and beyond. Email us if you want a shirt, you want some Knicks pens. Just shoot us an email, nyknickspodcast@gmail.com.
Dean, if you need a kidney, if you increase your Patreon maybe by $1, Jay will give you a kidney.
Yeah. So also, if you guys want to contact us, NY Knicks Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitter.
Jay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Let's say RJ just takes a huge leap, and he has an MVP season. Like the league gives him the MVP.
Yeah.
The Knicks make the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the finals, the Knicks find out RJ needs a kidney transplant. And they say if he gets the kidney, he can play in the finals. The Knicks probably will win the title.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out the only match in America is you. Would you give RJ a kidney? You'll save his life and win the Knicks a champion. New York will hold you. This will be the greatest thing you'll ever do with your life, Jay.
Probably.
You're going to give RJ a kidney?
I'll give RJ a kidney.
Awesome.
That's how dedicated I am to this team.
What if RJ just is slightly more efficient than last year? Will you give him a kidney?
Sure.
Okay, RJ.